my opinion on TV characters, the Flash edition. Barry Allen is so kind, compassionate, and intelligent. And I just love how he wore his heart on his sleeve and how he always wanted to see the good in people. He can be impulsive at times, which led to selfish decisions, but he wasn't perfect. He was human. My main complaint with Barry comes down to the inconsistencies within the writers. They made him the fastest man alive, basically untouchable, but then they turned right around and took his speed away from him every 5 seconds. And also them forgetting how smart Barry is and forgetting that he got his little CSI job and making him weak and easily defeated. None of that I wasn't fucking with. To me, Iris West had enough good moments to balance out the bad. She's flawed just like everybody else, and she's overhated. I don't care. She's courageous, she's resourceful, and she stood up for herself, and she had no problem speaking her mind. I love that. All that to say, she has a tough exterior, but she's low-key a softie in the inside. My only issue with Iris was I felt like her identity was taken from her. In season 1, she was all about her job and her journaling, and then in the later seasons after that, she became so focused on Barry and helping the team, which I didn't have a problem with, but I wanted her to continue to at least have something going for her, which was her journey. She, of course, eventually picked it back up in the later seasons, but that was after all the hate she already received for being the leader of the team. Cisco is so funny, he keeps it real, and I love his little pop culture references and all the cool names that he gives the villains. Vibe was also cool as fuck, and Cisco's evolution as a character was very natural, but also bittersweet to watch. Early season Cisco, I loved his optimistic look on life, and it was unfortunate that all of that was diminished by all the bad things that happened to him throughout the show. Caitlin Snow, I honestly felt like they didn't know what to do with her. All of her storylines were focused on someone else, so they never shaped her fully as a character. She didn't have a personal life outside of her career, and even in her career, they never allowed her to elevate. Her only consistent arcs were when they were trying to give her a new love interest every season, and Killer Frost. Speaking of Killer Frost, I liked her character. I liked watching her figure out her identity, but it became repetitive. Other than that, she was cool. And Keon, she was a sweet girl, but by the time she came around, I really was missing Caitlyn's. Joe West was always standing on business. Great father, great detective, and every episode that he wasn't in, I missed his presence. He always gave one hell of a speech, but after a while, they started underutilizing him. Every time I was starting to like a new Wells, they would take him away. My top 2 favorite Wells was Harry and HR. Harry was so funny, charming, and sarcastic, and I just loved his bond with Cisco. When it came down to HR, I liked that he was different than all the other Wells. He was a hero in his own way. He wasn't a genius, he didn't have any powers, but he had everybody's back and always believed in Team Flash. He came through when it mattered, and he always stayed hopeful, and I just dig that about him. Cecile was cool, and she was very empathetic, and I liked her powers. I just didn't like how invasive they got sometimes. They definitely didn't know what to do with Wally. He was a stubborn, reckless teenager that was mad at the world, and I understood that. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because of that, but it was hard sometimes. He left to go find himself, and while I do believe he did that, every time he came back in town, it felt like he would momentarily revert back to the way he acted in the earlier season. He just found different reasons to be mad at Barry every time, and I just was like, wrap this up, Wally. It was like a real thin line between love and hate that Wally had for Barry. Like, he loved Barry, but he also was jealous of Barry, and I'm just like, go to a therapist. Looks up to Barry, but he also views him very negatively. Like, it was a lot. I love that Nora and Bart were a perfect mix of Iris and Barry. They got Iris's fearlessness and her resourcefulness, and then they have Barry's impulsiveness and his little nerdiness. Even down to the mannerisms, that was some good casting. Allegra got on my nerves in the beginning, but she did grow on me. I'll always give her props for being the only person that had Iris's back in season 8, episode 3, versus Cecile when Cecile was trying to come at Iris sideways about Joe's death. Chester started out as a Cisco 2.0, but once they started giving him his own storylines, he flowed well with the group. Singh was cool as fuck, and I'm curious when was the exact moment he realized that Barry was the Flash. I don't think they ever said that, but if they did and I missed it, let me know. Eddie died for nothing. He came back as a villain because he was mad that the world moved on after, he died. I get it, but Reverse Flash, the man that started it all, Barry's biggest hater. The way he was hating on Barry, he must be a Gemini. It wasn't even just hatred, it was obsession. Like, he was obsessed with Barry. That's why people say, and I literally just said that a little earlier, it's a thin line between love and hate, and it can turn real quick. He was crazy as fuck. He was a great villain, but them last couple seasons, he was whack. I can't even lie. Zoom was terrifying. I will never get over him dragging Barry around the city like a goddamn rag doll. Oh my God. Tony Todd, rest in peace with that voice work. That voice. That was some good shit there. Chef's kiss. Reveal of Saboteur was exciting and insane. Just a broken Barry. DeVoe was the only main villain that wasn't a speedster. His back and forth with Barry was fun to watch. The way he challenged Barry mentally, I was interested in all of that. The hopping from body to body just became... I don't know, overused, and I was sick of it. Cicada was a menace, and hearing him breathing, he was such a heavy breather, that creeped me the hell out. Blood work was crazy as fuck, but he also was kind of funny. I think her name was like Eva or Ava, one of those. She was an underwhelming character. I initially liked the little revenge plot storyline that she had going on, trying to take her ex-husband down. I was invested. But finding out that he was right all along about her actually being dead, because he literally trying to tell her, like, you're dead, you died in that mirror or whatever, and she was like, no, I didn't, I'm right here. The fact that he was right all along about her being dead was unfortunate. Godspeed and his clones was annoying as fuck. Camilla was a sweet girl. She was so kind and understanding, and even though I won't lie, I did like Gypsy and Cisco together. Camilla and him were adorable too. Ralph, at first, I'm gonna be honest with you, I found Ralph to be very obnoxious. And as soon as I started to enjoy his presence, he was written out. Julian was a character that grew on me, and I wish he would have stayed longer. It was just so much wasted potential with him. Let me know how y'all feel in the comments. I know I didn't get to do everybody. I'm sure I'm missing millions of characters, but The Flash has so many characters. So I hope you still enjoyed it. Let me know how you feel in the comments.